Hello everyone, can you hear me? Hello, hello, someone there? Okay. Just so you know, this meeting will be recorded so you can watch it at your convenience. Okay, I'll give it one more minute and we'll start. Okay, I think we're good to go. I'll start by sharing my screen. Just a second. Okay, you can probably see my screen now. All right. Here. Start by the first slide first. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Renan Castro, and today we're going to talk about native push notifications with Meteor and Cordova, and we're going to use OneSignal for making things easier for us. Okay, so first of all, good morning to everyone that is morning. I know it's very early for a lot of people right now, but my name is Renan Castro. I'm a software engineer here at Meteor Software, and previously and right now I'm also an iOS and Android developer, native developer. I've developed a lot of things in Objective-C and also Java for native apps. I built a lot of them, so right now I can focus and also have more knowledge on building Cordova apps and also plugins and developing Meteor Cordova platform. Okay, I'm also a long time Meteor user. Okay, so I've used it a long time ago, like 5 years or 6 years ago. I've used it a lot on commercial projects and also proof of concepts, MVPs. And before working at Meteor, I've used it. So I'm also a user of Meteor. Okay. You can find me at Renas Castro on GitHub and also at this email handle. Okay. So first of all, why build native apps? Okay. So right now we have PWAs, so you can build apps that doesn't need to be installed in the user device. But why you should build native apps? I'm telling you that's a good thing to build it, and you should push it to the app stores, and you should implement some native features like push notifications, which is the main theme of this call. Okay. But right now, I think the main thing that are holding back PWAs for being the for shipping your app only as it is that on Apple device, on iOS, you can't send push notifications for PWAs because Safari doesn't support it. Okay, there's a petition, there's a lot of signatures, like 6,000, but until now, Apple has been really resistant to this web app thing. Okay, so why you should it? So just to reinforce my position here, 40% of the users say that they browse the app store to find apps. Okay, so you probably don't want to lose this 40% of users. Okay, so it's mostly for free. If you're not using in-app purchase, you're going to be charged a little. So it's a really low fee for having a lot of users to free marketing. Okay, so that's why you should have a native app and push to the app stores. Okay, but let's talk about the effectiveness of push notifications, which is the central theme of our call right here. So why you should send push notifications? Because they increase your app orientation rates by 3 to 10 times. They increase app engagement like in 88%. So it's a huge improvement on app engagement and app retention. They have a really higher click-through rate compared to marketing emails. It's a lot, like 7% of click-through rates improvement if you are using push notifications, and also almost 70% of the users open the app on pushes. Okay, that's a really good thing, and it's way better than email, and most of times better than SMS or text messages. Okay, so you should really use push notifications for increasing engagement in your app. Okay, but why use OneSignal? Because I think OneSignal is a really easy platform for sending and managing push notifications, because it has a free plan and you are almost never going to get out of the free plan, because it's a really good free plan. You have a lot of push notifications. You have a lot of segments that you can build. If you're starting a new app, like we're doing this workshop for hackathon, so this should be really your first place to go. Get a free plan on Signal. And what I also like it about OneSignal is that they have this thing called a provisionator. So if you have built native apps with Apple and use it push for it, you know there's a lot of things of certificates and other things you have to do before sending. So OneSignal has this tool called a provisionator that you just go to this link and click a button, log in with your Apple developer email, and it's going to generate all the Apple push assets you need. All right. Okay, there's also something good about OneSignal is that you don't need to run anything in your server, because you just do an API call and you will solve these things that they're really common if you're implementing a custom build solution for sending push notifications. Like delayed push notifications are really bad. CPU that is going to be wasted on jobs. It's hard to keep track of expiring dates, so this is solved on OneSignal. Also hard to manage user subscriptions, and sending manual messages is also a big thing in manually made push notifications servers. Okay, but enough talk. I think I've talked it already. I've talked enough already. So let's do a hands-on. But first, I'll check the chat if there is anyone listening and talking something. Okay, I don't think so. So I'll keep going. Okay, for this hands-on, what we're going to do, we are going to grab an app that I've built in a live stream. Okay, let's just close some things here. Otherwise, we're going to have slow hands-on. Okay. Okay, let's start by creating a new terminal window. I'm going to open that project I set. I think the screen is enough for reading. Okay, I'm going to add my app password. So what is this app? If you see here, I have some modifications that are just idea modifications that I use WebStorm. Okay, but I'll wipe that down just for you to make sure I'm not doing anything crazy here. Okay, so this package here, this sample project is just Felipe Nevola my app passwordless. Okay, you can open it on GitHub. So it's just a simple passwordless app that just shows a screen. Okay, I'll open it. Let's run it to see what it does. You can say it's just a React app configured with Tailwind and passwordless. So we can log in without having to create a new account, without having to input a password. You can see more about that in the live stream we did a couple weeks ago. Okay, my app is running. You can see there's a mail address here. I can type my mail address. Request access, it's going to check my mail. I don't have the mail package configured. So I go back here and it's going to output the token in the terminal. Okay, I'm logged in. Okay, that's just this. Okay, what we're going to do, we are going to add native capabilities to this. You can see that it's just a web app, but we're going to embed it into Cordova app. And you see how easy it is. And also we are going to add push notifications to it. So we are going to add a method that we can manually send push notifications through the shell. Okay, but enough talk, let's start it. First of all, we are going to work only on Android. Okay, so we are going to leave the iOS side uh, aside for now, because I'm running Linux, and you can't develop iOS apps on Linux. You have to use Mac, but we're going to focus on Android. Okay, so we're going to add a Meteor add platform Android. So if this command gives any error for you, or if you don't have the Android SDK pre-installed in a ready state, you can check out my video where I teach you how to set up this SDKs in the right way. Okay, so right now we have the Android platform added. Okay, so let's run it to see how it goes. Okay, first of all, you just need to check your IP address, because I'm going to run it in a real device and they need to communicate with each other. Okay, this is my IP, and then I'm going to run it Meteor run Android device dash dash mobile server, and then I'm going to pass my IP HTTP. Okay, first I need to connect my phone here. Okay. And I'll also get the thing that is going to mirror my screen. I had it ready, but it seems like it closed itself. So just a second. Here, first copy. Okay, here is my Android app, Android device that is connected to my PC. Okay, let's run it and let's see what it's going to do. You saw that I just added the platform, and then it seems like I will have an Android app ready. So that's how easy it is. You don't need to worry about a lot of things. Let's start it to build. It's the first time, so it might take some time.
Renan? Renan, can you hear me? You are on mute for the past like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I've been talking a lot. Okay, thanks guys for warning. Okay, let's recap.
Yeah, I need to return. I think was after you open the app, I believe. Then it starts to be on mute.
Yeah, I don't know why the Zoom window one. Okay. I've opened the app and you saw that things are working. Okay, let's start from that. It's a good starting point. You saw the app working. Okay, so right now I've added also a bubble config.js file that's going to set some IDs for us and some names. And what I was saying that I think it's cool about this file is that is the JS file. You can do whatever you want with it. You can do custom logic here. You can do wire labels based on build parameters. So you can go crazy inside this file. But for now, we're just going to set app IDs and basic info here. Okay. And what I also did, and I was talking about, is that I started with the client side of things. That in the client side, we first need to register the player ID. And what is the player ID for OneSignal? The player ID is the identifier of the client devices. So when you send push notifications, you send push notifications to devices. And inside our system, we have to cross that info. Okay, you have to say this user in my database has this device. Okay, so this is what we're going to do first. I've added the OneSignal Cordova plugin because that's what we need to fetch the player ID. And we will start by creating a new folder here. I like to get all the code that is called infrastructure code in this folder. I'm going to create a new file called OneSignal. Okay, I have OneSignal here. Okay, and first of all, our code is going to run in the startup of Meteor. Okay, so we have Meteor startup, and if the code is not running on Cordova, we won't do anything. You can also use OneSignal for web pushes, but it's not our main focus here. We are going only to focus on Cordova. So if the code is not running on Cordova platform, you're just going to return and ignore the code that's following. Okay, so I'm going to paste some code here and I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, so right now we have to init the OneSignal thing, and also we have this handle notification open. I'm just going to comment it because we're going to go back to it later, not right now. Okay, comment that. Okay, this thing here is what actually gets the player ID from your device. Okay, so it's using the Cordova plugin. That's how you use it. Window.plugins.OneSignal and get IDs. Okay, what is this current player ID? It's actually a variable that they're going to get here. Okay, and this variable is going to be pre-populated when the user open the app, and then when we have accounts on login. Okay, so let's get this flow straight. First, the user is going to open the device and open your app on it. Then Meteor Startup is going to be called, and it's going to run this code here. It's going to pre-populate current player ID with the user ID, like the player ID from the device. It's going to add this into this variable, and then later the user is going to log in, right? Okay, then we have this callback on the accounts base package that's going to call us whenever the user has a login. And inside this method, we are going to cross the info I've said. Okay, we're going to say this player ID correspond to the meteor.user ID. Okay, we are going to implement this add player ID right now. What is this function? This function is just a call, a method call. So we are going to implement a method, add player ID, that's going to cross those two infos. Okay. So right now this file is complete. I'm going to create this method right now. Okay. Let's go to infra. I like to also create a folder here, call it methods. Inside this method folder, I'm going to create the add player ID method. Okay, and what is this add player ID method? It's something that I really think it's easy, because you just have to update your user ID with the player ID set. We are using a set here. If you're not using to Mongo query, you can search for it, but this thing just adds a set to the document, and whenever you add a device that is duplicated, it's not going to add two. Okay, it's going to add a unique list of player IDs to your user. Okay, so this defines a method, an add player ID method, and what we do here, we skip simulation, right? This is not going to run in the client because we don't have the power to update things in the client. So if there is a player ID in this method, we are going to update the Meteor users collection with the logged user information, and that to set the player's ID. All right, that's what this method is doing. Okay, so first part is ready. We've fetched the player ID. We have grossed and stored in our database the player ID with our user ID. What we are going to do next? Next, we are going to import it and actually call those files. If you saw it, we are doing things on import, and these files are not going to be automatically loaded, and that's expected because it's how we have configured your app. If you see here, sorry, yeah, we have not set the main modules, but that doesn't impact anything. So we're just going to have in the client JSX file, this is going to be the entry point for our app. Okay, we need to add our method first to the server. Okay, we're going to go to the entry point of the server and import our method. Okay, so the method is now registered. We also have to call this OneSignal thing anywhere. Okay, and where we're going to do it, we're going to do it in the entry point for the client, being JSX. Okay. All right, we are done for the first part. But if you see here in the code I was showing to you, there's something I haven't explained yet. There is a Meteor settings public OnSignal app ID. And this is where you have to go to the OnSignal web platform and register a new app. Okay, we're going to do that right now. And as you saw here, there's a settings. I'm going to create a new settings file. I'm going to create a private folder, environment, and then I'm going to create a file called, that's a dev environment, live. Then I'm going to create a settings.json file, and this file, what you're going to have, what you need here. It's a OnSignal app ID thing. It's inside the public because we need this information inside the client. Okay, you can have private things sent to the client, so you have to be really careful about this. I'm going to show you development keys that I'm going to remove after this workshop, but you have to create your own. Okay, so first of now we did the app ID on Signal. Okay, let's go to OnSignal. I think I'm not muted anymore. Thanks for warning me.
You're okay.
Thanks. Okay, now we are going to OnSignal. I'm going to log into my account. I'm already logged. Let's start by creating a new app. Okay, what is the name of my app? I'm just going to give a simple name. Example, push meteor. Well, for now, we are going to set a Google Android, only that if you wanted to send iOS push notifications, you will select here, web. There's a lot of things here. You can explore it. Okay. All right, we've created. Okay, what do we need to do now? You can read the documentation for more details, but what you need to do is create a new app on Firebase too. In this Firebase thing, okay, I'm going a little too fast, but I click it here on copy from your Firebase console. The Firebase console was opened. I click in add project and I create a new project. Okay, example, push Meteor Hackathon. I'm going to use this. Okay, continue. It's going to ask for using Google Analytics. I'm going to, okay, default. Okay, you can explore more this form when you're doing it. All right, creating my project. We have to wait it because we have to fetch the keys from the Firebase console to OneSignal, so OneSignal can send push notifications for Android devices. Right, it's finishing. Okay, project is ready. It's going to redirect to it. Then you go to project overview, click in this settings icon here, project settings, and cloud messaging. Okay, here you have the server key and the sender ID. I'm going to copy the sender ID here on OneSignal, also the server key. Save and continue. We are using Cordova, so you set the SDK here, and then it showed to me my app ID inside OneSignal. So here, this is the code we are pasting here. Okay, and then done. This is almost all the configuration you need to do on Signal and Firebase for Android push notifications. For Apple, you have to do a little more because of the certificates I said. There's a certificate upload thing, but use Provisionator if you need it. Okay, so right now we don't have to do anymore anything here on OneSignal panel. So let's get going to our app. Okay, so right now what we have an app that is getting the player IDs, setting to the user, and I think let's test it. Let's test and see if it's working. Okay, again, the same command, but right now I will have to pass a settings file. Okay, dash settings, then private and dev settings. Okay, the only change here is that now I've passed a settings file. This is my daughter. She's beautiful. I'm unlocking my phone. Let's wait for a bit. Okay, we have an error. Okay, I think there's a cache thing here. We're going to wipe the cache and run it again. That might happen because we have changed the app ID, and then you might need to refresh your Cordova local cache. All right, building. As I said, the first run after cleaning the cache can take some time because it's down plugins and all that. All right, this time it will work. Starting app on Android device. Okay, it started our app. All right, but we haven't seen anything. Okay, but yeah, that's expected. We didn't do anything visual yet. But let's connect to our local database. I have a new user. Okay, this user here is the one that I've registered in the passwordless back when I showed it to you how it worked. And okay, let's do the login now, and let's see if it's going to associate the player ID. Okay, mail. Let's get my token. Token here, sign. Okay, so let's check again our database. Okay, so we now have the player IDs. And what does it mean? It means that now I can send push notifications to this user. I know that this user used these devices, and the other way around too. I know that this device is from this user. So now you can pinpoint and segment your database for sending push notifications. You can filter whatever you want. Like I want all users that have created, I don't know, an event in the previous week. So that depends on your business logic. So you can do whatever you want. So you just have to fetch the player IDs and then you can send it. Okay, so let's see it working because right now we don't have anything yet. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create a method, okay, a new method. And this method is going to be called send push all. Send push all. What we're going to do with this, we are sending push to all our users. Okay, here we go. I'm doing some magic here, copying and pasting code so we can save time. But okay, set push all is just a method that is ugly exported here as a global variable because we need to access it in the Meteor shell. But what this do? This only fetches all users in the database, do a flat map because as I showed it to you, player IDs is a set, okay? And then we need to have a list of all players IDs. We're logging it and we are sending a push to it, okay? Passing title, content, and a route here that we can set or we can't. Well, that's just a thing you have to control it. Okay, but all the magic is happening in this send push file. Okay, let's create this. WebStorm is really smart, so it knows what I need to do. Okay, send push. I'm going to copy paste here again to save time, but I'm going to explain everything here too. Okay, let's prettify. Let's configure my prettifier here. I think this is a new project. Okay, prettifier wasn't configured. It is now, and now everything is pretty. Also yes linked and pre-array. Okay, great. So what this function is, it's just a simple function that calls a request to the OneSignal endpoint that's going to create a new notification. Okay, you can see here that's OneSignal API v1 version 1 notifications. So this is a really simple post. Okay, we are posting to this URL. It's a standard post request. So we're just passing some authorization, okay? And this is what we still need to implement because we haven't added the REST API key to our settings. If you remember, our settings is just the app ID, okay? And be careful that this flag here, okay, we are also adding on the signal. And now we need a REST API key. This can't be sent to the client, okay? If you send it to the client, you are going to have a really serious security issue because now the client and anyone that wants to do bad things to your database is going to get these REST API keys and they can send push notifications to all your database, okay? That's not good and you need to protect it. That's why we added it to outside the public key. Okay, so where we fetch it, we are still in the dashboard, keys and IDs. Here we have the REST API key. Okay, they also say here treat your API key like a password. Okay, REST API key. Okay, everything is set. Let's get back in here. Okay, send push. I'm going to explain you exactly what this is. Okay, I was in the part of the authorization. We set a basic authorization passing the REST API key in the headers. This is all detailed in the OneSignal API. Okay, the body, what we need to do in the body? We need to pass the title. And you see here that I have an object that has EN as a key. And this means that the title for the English language is going to be this. Also, the content for the English language is going to be this. You have multi-language support inside OneSignal. Okay, then you have to pass exactly what we want here. Okay, so we also include the player IDs, the app ID, and also the data. I'm going to get into this data thing as soon as I finish this basic setup. Okay, so just hold a minute. Okay, then we are requesting and doing a post. Everything is ready. I just need to add requests to my npm dependence. I haven't already. Okay, WebStorm did it, and let's check it. Request is here. Don't use request. I'm using this code here because it's already in one of my projects, but request is outdated and you should use fetch, but this code is really easy to rewrite, okay? All right, my Meteor server is restarted, but again, we haven't yet imported this thing in our server. So let's do it. Okay, in our main.js, we're going to add this here, send push to all. We have just imported, just a simple. Let's start for the Meteor server to restart. Okay, everything is started. Second, what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my app here. Okay, close. Okay. And then I'm going to open a shell window here, a terminal window. What I'm going to do is going to a Meteor shell. Right. If you haven't used a Meteor shell already, it's a great thing for testing locally. You can use it. Okay, so let's use this method. Just implement. Okay, send push. What I'm going to do? Title. Hello. Push. Content. Hello, my friends. Okay, that's everything I'm going to add. Let's send it. Okay, we have a response. Okay, my screen went black. Let's open it here. You can see there's already an icon here. People saying that I'm muted. There's a lot of things here. But just remove it and send again so you can see it. There's a lot of notifications in my phone. Good. Okay, here. Hello from Push. Hello, my friends. So, okay, we have done the complete flow. We have started, we have registered your device inside OneSignal. We've cross-matched the user with the player IDs, and you have everything ready right now. So, okay, we have started in the client side, we sent to the server and registered the player ID, and now we can send it using Meteor shell, also using cron jobs or whatever you want. Okay, you can do custom logic to send push notifications and all that. It's simple as that. But okay, that's one thing that I left to the end. That's going to do about this root thing here. So when I click my notification, it will just open my app. But you know, in real applications, you don't want this behavior because it's just open your app without context. Okay, most of the time you're going to need to pass a route to their push notifications. So when the user clicks on it, it's going to open a certain URL inside your app. Okay, so this is what we're going to do right now. You can see that inside my send push function, I have this data thing that I'm passing a route. Okay, inside send push, we have this data that was passed, that's been passed, and then this data we are including here. Okay, and I'm going to configure our client side things to handle the notification opening. Okay, this is the code that we have commented before. And this code just handle when the notification was open. It's a hook, and you have to set a callback. Okay, notification opened, callback. Let's create the function, notification opened, callback. Okay, that's it. What we're going to do here, I'm going to paste my function here too. I'm going to move it here and set it here. Notification opened callback. We received the notification from the OneSignal SDK. I'm logging it, and what I'm going to do here is to get exactly the route from the payload that OneSignal is passing to us here. I'm using Lodash just for making things easier. So let's import it. Import get from Lodash get. I'm using the only package for single package for not including all Lodash because we just need get. Okay, so right here we are fetching the root parameter that we will pass here to OneSignal in the body of our request. Okay, and then if there is a root, if there was a parameter that we passed as a root, we're going to just redirect it to it. Okay, so it's really simple. What we are but in this way we don't have any root set, then we are not going to see anything if this actually works. So let's add a small message to our client to see it on screen. Yep. Okay, here's the passwordless component. I'm adding this. It just check if the window location href includes a slash push endpoint. And if it does, we are going to show an A2 saying that you have been redirected from a push notification. Okay, let's see if that works. I have my app here. Okay, I'm logged in. I'm going to close my app right now because push just works better in this way. Cleaning some notifications, everything is working. Let's send again. Same thing, but right now we're going to pass a root. Let's check the method signature. It's root, and this root we're going to pass the dash push. Right? Sent. Let's wait it. Arrive it. Let's click on it. Or log it. Okay, so it didn't show. Let's see why. Okay. I'm also going to show you how to inspect mobile applications. Okay, Chrome inspect. You go to Chrome inspect, Chrome 2.//inspect. Then you are going to see the web view here in the cone meter push. We're going to inspect it. Okay, we have our app open here, and you can see that we are in the dash push root. Okay, so let's see why our code didn't work. We're going to debug it live. Okay, so it's just going to show the window, the message I added when the window location href includes dash push. Let's see how it is. Let's see if this is true. Okay, it is true. Let's do a quick refresher. Okay, I think it might not have hot code pushed to our Android device. Let's run it again. Because you saw that everything was true, and then this code should have worked. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that hot code push haven't deployed the new version for us. Let's see. We are building again. New app. Okay. Let's open our inspector again to see where we are. Okay, we are not on push. Let's send a push again. Let's close our app and send the push again. Okay, the push arrives very fast. You are logged. There isn't anything here. Okay, let's see why. Still haven't fixed it. Probably I've changed the wrong file.
It's also good for you to show how to debug the client inside the device.
Yeah. Good thing. Okay, let's do it again. When you are developing in live environments, you can have issues. That's something you guys are probably really Okay, we start here because you can see that the code we send to our mobile devices are actually minified, not minified, but actually built. Okay, so we go inside origins. I'm probably going to be call it source because my web browser is on Portuguese, sorry, but you're going to go to source, app, app.js, and then you search for the thing you want to search. Okay, let's search for the app.js. I'm probably going to find it faster. Yeah, here, app.jsx. This is the code because JSX has to be built for the client side to work. Okay. But then here is the thing that is not showing. So React create element. There's a return first here. So that's probably why. Okay. There's two returns. Let's remove it. Let's see how the code is. All right, there was my issue. Now my app shows you have been redirected from push notification. Okay, so there was a dangling return there. And you saw that we can easily debug any code also on the mobile environment. We just are going to have, this is how I do it, okay? I think it's really fast to debug it in this way. You can also debug server code by passing the inspect flag, okay? I'm not going to show it here, but you can do it anywhere. Okay, let's open again. Yeah, that's it. I think we are done. You can see how we have redirected the user to a slash push route, and we have see how we debug client-side applications, how we build push notifications with Cordova and OneSignal. We also saw how to add a platform for Android and how to build Android apps, how to work with Cordova. And you can go crazy right now. So you can add pushes, segment users for sending pushes and everything. All right. You also learned how to protect your settings, how to protect your API keys inside our settings, how to pass parameters. Well, I think there's a lot of content here. We are going to wrap up here. So you can try it. Okay, try it and give it a try to OneSignal. You can start for free. So we are not being sponsored by it, but it's just a tool that I love. And I really know you guys are going to love it because I was from a native background and I had to do everything by hand. And it wasn't like a really nice scenario having to call the native APIs to register push notifications, getting all that. So OneSignal make it way easier for you. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. And yeah, I think right now it's time for questions. If you have any, I think I'll close this and open the chat to see if there's anyone talking. Okay, Felipe asked what are the difference for iOS? What else do I need to do? Okay, the thing for iOS is just that you only need to go to the OnSignal thing here, platforms. You need to add Apple iOS, okay? And then it's going to ask you for certificates. And first of all, before setting anything for iOS, you're going to have to buy uh, a developer account on Apple. The last time I saw it was $100 per year. But yeah, you have to have a developer account on Apple. For that, you need to generate the certificates and certificates password. That might be a really hard process, even if you don't think so. So OnSignal details everything here. But the good thing and what I like about OnSignal is that you can jump all these steps. Okay, there's a lot of things to generating push notifications, certificates for Apple, and you can only do it from a Mac. Okay, But with OneSignal, you have this OneSignal provisionator tool that I've talked about earlier. And when you click in Get Started, it just asks for your Apple credentials, and you input your Apple ID, your password, and then it's going to generate all the certificates for you. And then in the final step, it's going to result in a P12 PNSR files directly available, so you can just upload it here. Okay, if you have a more complicated setup, and on Apple, you probably know how to do it by hand. But if you have a more complicated setup, you can skip this provisioner thing and build it and get the assets manually, as I said here, with all the steps. It works for sure. It works. But yeah, if you have a simple setup, it's a new app, and whatever, just go with provisioner. It's way easier. Yeah, I think that answers the question. Okay, any more? Any more questions?
I don't think we have more questions.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Now I have a very good explanation step by step how to send pushes.
Yeah, exactly. I want to thank everyone. If you're not watching it live, if you're watching it from a recording, thank you for watching. And yeah, just skip the part where I was muted. Sorry for that, but I think it was a great call. And thanks everyone. I think it's a
Thank
great call.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.